Hi there, my name is Will and I'm going to walk you through the new system flows available in 0.19. Namespaces is not a new concept to Kestra, but we are now introducing a new system namespace to help you manage your Kestra instance just that little bit more. Once you've created a flow in the system namespace, you will see under the namespaces that it will be slightly separate compared to the rest. This makes it easy to find and easy for you to manage your Kestra platform. And as you can see here, that when I click into it, it gives me this option with all these different blueprints to help me get this system namespace set up. So for example, that might be setting up failure alerts using Gmail. So for example, this blueprint has a flow trigger set up that if it detects any warning or failed execution states, then it will trigger this flow, and this flow is just going to send a notification. In this specific case, it's going to use Gmail to let us know that something has failed or finished with a warning status. So really useful for being able to set up this flow across your entire Kestra instance, or you can maybe add some extra conditions to narrow it down to certain namespaces, but this will then belong inside of your system namespace so that it doesn't clutter up your other ones. So it just makes it a little bit easier to set up all of these alerts and other things such as syncing your flows or maybe namespace files without having to have those in the way of the flows doing heavy workloads. As you can see here, I've got this failure Slack alert one set up, and if I go into the editor, we can see that it is set up to send a Slack message to let us know which execution ID did fail, and then we can then go into Kestra and look that up. And as we can see here, this flow did fail, and so it sent a notification to let us know. I can now click on that, and you'll see that it will open it up in Kestra, where I can then dig into the logs to understand exactly what actually went wrong so I can resolve it. Something else worth mentioning about this is now you can filter between user flows and system flows. So here, this is showing me all of my user flows. I don't have to worry about any of my system maintenance sort of things getting in the way. But if I do want to see those, I can either show everything, and here I can see that failure Slack alert as well, or I can get rid of the user ones and just look at those. So really helpful, but I could also filter by the system namespace as well if I'd prefer to do that too. Here under the executions page, I can filter by specifically user executions. So I don't have to see these recurring same things keeping my Kestra instance up and running in the way of all of my user workflows as well. So here I can filter by system as well. So I can see here when my Slack alert was working and when it maybe wasn't, but I don't have to see that by default, which just makes it a little bit easier. Now, if you're using the Enterprise Edition, you'll be able to use role-based access control to make sure that only certain users can access your system namespace as well. So really useful if you want to set up some sensitive logging, or maybe something that is pulling all of your flows from Git every day. You can make sure that that is only accessed by people who need it to make sure that it doesn't mess with your Kestra instance. Another example that we have here is a system flow that will help you purge logs. So sometimes you might end up getting lots and lots of logs that fill up inside of the logs page, and this can just get a little bit messy and just make it a little bit hard to find what you're after. And so some people prefer to be able to purge logs every day so that they can just keep up to date with the latest logs, especially once they've had future executions. Success logs that have happened in the past aren't so critical. So here, this system flow is going to use the purge executions and purge logs task to just clean this up a little bit, and it's going to run on a schedule. And again, this can then hide away in that system namespace, run away in the background, but it's not going to get in the way of other things. Hopefully you found that useful and you're going to start using the system namespace to manage your Kestra instance. Let us know in the comments below how you're using it, and join our Slack community where you can discuss with us further.